Welcome back to Cask and Point. Today is going to be an awesome day because we are trying an 18-year Four Roses. Now, if you don't know that much about Four Roses, they're not 18 years old on the shelf. They're usually between 8 and 11 years old, but in a previous video, I got to try a sample of a 13-year-old OBSF, and I was super grateful for that. And today, I'm one-upping it. The same friend sent me an 18-year sample, so thank you so much for sharing. And this is OESK, which is a much more desirable mash bill than the OBSF that we had tried before. Now, if you don't know that much about the yeast strains and all, basically you have 5 different yeast strains: V, K, O, Q, and F. V and O are going to be your kind of fruity, creamy ones. Your K is going to be the spicy one, which we're going to be trying today, and then Q and F are like the herbal and floral ones. And then E is the 20% mash bill. B is that second letter is going to be your 35% rye mash bill. And so this is going to be a lot of fun. So OESK, if we look at a little cheat sheet here, that this tag that Four Roses puts in all their single barrel strengths, this is a, let's see, spicy full body. So not getting a ton of description out of OESK, but I could not be more excited. This is 18 years old. This is 114.8 proof. I don't know how the heck this exists, but man, am I glad it does, and man, am I excited to share it with you guys here today. Let's get right into the pour. Wow. So I'm getting a lot of the standard Four Roses red fruit on this. And there's a lot of like maraschino cherry on that. Then it's going to be a ton of butter and cream, which is funky because OESK typically doesn't have that kind of butter and cream. I typically get that more on like an OESV, but OESK is typically a lot more spice, but I'm not getting a ton of spice on the nose here. Definitely some more earthy notes on it, like some pine on this, a little bit of like, sweet oak on this. A little bit of vanilla in there, a little bit of maple in there. Overall, it smells really good, and this has been opening up for about 30 minutes, so I really want to let this one sit because 18 years, I wanted to see how much it could develop in that glass. And yeah, I've been smelling it over time. This is definitely really getting there. Yeah, I think it's smelling similar to the Four Roses single barrel strengths that are much younger and more readily available on the shelf, but there's just a little bit more depth of flavor there. It's definitely giving me more of the fruit, more of the butter, more of the cream, more of the toast, more of the oak, more of those sweet, maple flavors than I would typically get. And it's combining a lot of different things that, usually I'd get 1 or 2 of those or maybe 3 of those. This is giving me like those 6 different elements all at once and a little bit stronger. So overall, I'm pretty excited. Let's try this. Oh yeah. Oh, that's good. Now I'm getting a lot more spice, but it's a very refined spice. It's not just there is a ton of rye in this mashable spice, like a nice flat rye spice, but more of like a spicy candy kind of note on that. That's really, really nice. And then there's definitely a little bit of butter and cream on that. Definitely some of the red fruit coming through on that one. That was really good. Let's take a second sip here. Yeah, so as I kind of expected, that second sip was definitely a little bit fruitier. This isn't super rye forward, and I'm not sure why it didn't get a ton of rye after 18 years. And typically, we are told this is just spicy. This is just just spicy. It's spicy and it's full body meaning a ton of flavor. So a ton of spice. This is just supposed to be spice, but no. This is giving me fruit, butter, cream, oak, all these other elements, and there's definitely some spice there, and it's definitely on the palate the predominating factor on that one. But wow, that is so good. Definitely the best single barrel strength I've tried, as expected. But if I'm being honest, it's not that much better than, like a good old 11-year or 10-year. It's not that much better than the 13-year OBSF that we tried. Like, this isn't a different class. I think this is better. I think if I somehow found this on the shelf for, $150, I'd buy it. I may even spend $200 on it, but I wouldn't go that much higher than that for what it's worth. And we will be trying some of the really well-known Four Roses in the future, like the 16-year Kentucky Legend, and hopefully one day we'll even get to try the Father's Day if I can ever get a sample of that one. And Father's Day is supposedly like the king of Four Roses, and we'll see how much better those really are. But this, it's not stunning me, but it's really, really good. Like, it's the best I've ever had. but it's not that much better. And you know, I want to really get that out there because I don't want you guys to think, wow, 18-year Four Roses, this must like absolutely blow everything I've ever had out of the water. Because it doesn't. Honestly, like a tier 1 9-year OESV that's really good, like the one that I reviewed in my All the Single Boy Barrel Strength Four Roses video that actually did really well and I think won the whole entire event of all the 10, like that one, it's worse than this by a bit, but it's not that much worse. But let's take a third sip here, then we'll give it a rating. I'm thinking low 8s right now, which is still delicious, but I'm not stunned, but I really, really like it. And for what I imagine it was paid for this bottle, 100% worth it. Let's take another sip. Yeah, a good spiced candy on that, some red fruit, some oak, a good amount of maple, finishes medium length, definitely goes out with a good amount of pepper. This is OESK at its finest. This is absolutely delicious. This is probably better than, I'm really close on whether or not it's better than 2024 limited edition. 2024 limited edition I rated an 8.2. And I thought it was very good, very complex. This is a weird mixture where I think the 13-year OBSF that we had reviewed, that one to me was much more like a limited edition where it was lower proof and it had a good amount of complexity on it, whereas the tier 6 Four Roses Single Barrel Strengths that I'm used to that are 125 proof give you a lot more punch but fewer flavors and much less complexity. I think this one is giving me a kind of mix of both, where I'm getting a lot of complexity on this, but a good amount of punch as well. So that's why I'm really liking this. I think it's neck and neck with the 2024 limited edition, which says a lot, which says that it's really good. I will take this final sip before I give it a rating here, but I'm somewhere around an 8.2, which is what I rated the Four Roses 2024 limited edition. So let's take this final sip, see if I think it's better or worse, or if I'll rate it around the same at an 8.2. Yeah, I'm actually going to rate it 0. I'm going to say it's an 8.2. But I'm going to say I like it more than 2024 limited edition. It's neck and neck. I think the 2024 gives me much more of like a nice herbal note that mixes and blends together with some older OESK and all that stuff. And if I did do a review on that, definitely check that out. But they're mixing 15, 20-year-old whiskey into that, which this is basically, honestly, the caliber of a single barrel of that. But it's definitely not going to give me as much complexity, but it's getting really close and it's giving me a lot more flavor. This is delicious. I absolutely love this. Thank you so much for sharing the sample. I'm very excited to see what else there's out there in the world of Four Roses, but thank you all for joining me here today. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope you learned a little bit about Four Roses, and if somehow you ever find an 18-year Four Roses Single Barrel Strength, buy 2, give me 1, enjoy the other one for yourself. But for now, have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.